Hi, this is Bill Donigan, Donigan Painting, and today I'm going to show you how to paint a ceiling. We're working on an upstairs hallway in the customer's house that we're working at here, and we did some repairs to the ceiling here. There were some cracks. It's an older house, so we filled them and then retextured, and they want it repainted so everything looks, nice and fresh. So there's some things you need to do first and foremost when you're getting painting here, when you're doing ceilings or walls in general painting. You want to cover up all your floors. So that means drop cloths, or if you want to get like rosin paper or contractor paper, if you want to go that route, but you got to cover all your floors up. So as you can see, everything's been covered here, from the staircase to the base molding to the rail and the baluster. Everything gets covered so that the paint won't end up dripping on it, because it will. Despite you thinking you might be the neatest painter, you can run around and try to clear it up. Like, it's just easier to cover it. So that's your setup. You want to come in and put drop cloths down, tape out your base molding, cover up your window cells, cover up, if you have, doorknobs that are glass, get those covered. Cover up your hardware or your lighting with some plastic, and make sure if you do that, that they're not hot so you don't start the plastic on fire. And that's it. So for setup, you want to get everything covered. And once you got everything covered, you can get into painting. Now, some things you're going to need for painting, you're going to need paint. And I like to use Sherwin-Williams Promar ceiling paint. It's something I've used for the 25 years that I've been painting, and it's just great. It's not like super expensive. You don't have to buy, I think they have Eminence or something else. This stuff's great. Everybody uses it, and it's like 20 bucks or something a gallon. It covers great. So if your ceilings are in pretty good shape, you'll get one coat coverage. So paint wise, get something good. I mean, it doesn't have to be Sherwin-Williams. You can go to the big box, but buy good stuff, because you'll thank me, and that the coverage you'll get will be so much better than if you went with the bottom of the rack stuff. So flat paint is typically what's used for ceilings. And you're going to need your roller frame, which is this portion here, the metal, and you need your nap, which is the plastic portion, or excuse me, the soft portion here that goes over the frame. Now that's a 3/8 inch nap. Now you can use 1/2 inch. That gets a little more paint on there. I like to use 3/8 just because that's what I use. And these ceilings are pretty flat. So that's the nap size. And you're gonna need an extension pole of some sort. If you can see with this hallway, like, it's pretty spread out, and you wanna have something that's longer than 4 feet. So that's, I think, an 8-foot extension pole there that you can get, depending on what you're doing at your house or wherever you're doing this. Other than that, you can use, I'm using the 5-gallon bucket. You can use a roller pan and that type of setup too, that's fine. Then you're gonna need a good brush and an empty can, so you can put a little bit of the ceiling paint in a can like this, or a cut can as we call it. And once again, get a decent brush. This is a 2-inch contractor grade brush that I get at my paint store all the time. I buy them by the box. They're like $8 a pop, and you'll have it forever if you just, all you gotta do is clean them out with a little hot water when you're done, and it'll save you a whole lot on the brush not falling apart. Like, once again, your equipment is, you want to spend a little bit of money on it, and for the $8, it'll make a huge difference versus the dollar store or the thing that is just gonna break when you start using it. So that's more or less everything you need for your setup. You need a cut can and a brush, a roller, your 5-gallon or a pan, an extension pole, and to have everything dropped out and covered like it is in here, the floors and stuff. And then we'll start with cutting in. And cutting in just means you're going to go along this edge, or the edges all around the perimeter of the room, and bring it out about 2 inches, or the width of that brush that I just showed you. So I'll show you how to cut in this section over here, and then roll it out, and it'll give you a pretty good idea of how you do it section by section. And then you can go ahead and, do whatever project you're going to do, and you'll be a little bit more confident doing it. So let me get this set up in the pod here and get moving, and you can get a better idea of what this looks like. It's a pretty quick process, and I'm just going to do this section over here. I'm not going to do the whole ceiling, so this is going to be a pretty quick video. It's not any more than 5 minutes. So I'm going to hop over there, show you how it's done. So I got my cup can, or my empty bucket, with about 1 inch of paint in it. And I'm just going to start in one corner here and work my way across and cut in. And when I'm cutting in here, like I said, or if I didn't say this, you only want to put like 1 inch of paint inside the can, so that when you push your brush in here, which is a little trick of the trade, you push it down. If you can see me doing this, and then you smack it on the sides and it puts the paint on there, it loads it, and the paint won't come off. I've seen a lot of people, you know, paint, or they'll just try to scoop it and then they're trying to do one of these. And I mean, you can do it that way, but this is how professionals do it. It really helps because once the paint's on there, it's not coming off, and then you just find your edge and you just push it out just like that. And that gives you that 2-inch cut, which is the width of the brush, so that you're coming out 2 inches from the wall, so that when you roll, you won't hit and make a mess against, you know, whatever paint you have there. Now, typically when you're painting, you start with the ceilings first and work your way down. So you cut in like so, 2 inches out. And most of this room's been done already, but I'll show you how it's done along this wall. And you just, like I said, you just pull this down after you get the brush loaded up. Pull it out, and we'll get rolling shortly. So that's cutting in. You're basically pulling it out 2 inches from the wall, so that when you roll, you're not right against the wall. So now I'm going to show you how to roll with that set up. So I come get your extension pole. And with most of this stuff, if you're planning on being a DIY iron, you know, it'll be worth the investment. It's not really expensive to get set up with some drop cloths and a good extension pole and roller and naps and paintbrush and stuff like that. And you'll have it for quite a while if you take care of it. So everything comes off, it's all water soluble for the most part. So as soon as you get done with this stuff and you clean it right away, you'll have it forever. So, all right, the nap's loaded up. I'm gonna start with the edge here and just bring this across, like so. And once I've gotten about 2 lengths or widths of this nap out here in the roller, I go back over it to just make sure everything's nice and flat, so you don't have any lines or ropes, as they call them, on your ceiling. And flat paint or ceiling paint's typically flat, unless you're doing like your kitchen or bathroom. Sometimes you use a gloss, so the moisture doesn't build up as much. But out here in this hall, we're just using flat white ceiling paint. Like I said, that's Sherwin-Williams Promar ceiling paint. And you don't have to spend a fortune. I think it's $20 a gallon, it might be 25 bucks a gallon. So you roll this out, get the paint out, and I'm working in about 8-foot spans here. And then, like I said, just go back over it. You don't have to push real hard, but it's just kind of even out any lines that may happen, so that you don't end up seeing like little lines every which way on your ceilings from the edge of this being pushed in, or if you have an uneven hand, which is pretty common if you don't paint a lot. So that's why you go back over it, and that'll take care of that for you. So let's do another section here, and then you should be on your way. Like I said, it's cutting in and then rolling out. Hit that whatever end you want to start in, and then just work your way across. And it helps having a light so that you can see the wet edge, because of ceiling paint. Sometimes it's tough to see where you left off. And sometimes it's actually easier to have low light too, so it might be easier to turn down the light a little bit so you can see where you left off. You just kind of got to play with it. It depends on the lighting and what kind of ceilings, like whether they're flat or textured. That's pretty much more all said. Use good paint, get good equipment. You don't have to spend a fortune. Make sure you cover everything up and work in sections, you know. If it was a bigger room, I might spray it, but with these smaller areas, it's just easier to come in. You don't have to spend as much time taping everything out, and it's just easier. It doesn't take as much time versus spraying. You can just roll this. This will take a whole other 20 minutes. I'm going to back roll, so I just rolled that section out. I'm just going back over it because most of the paint is off of this, and it'll just even everything out. It's a little trick of the trade. Just like if you smack the paint on the sides of the can when you cut in, it'll make a huge difference and not having to do a balancing act by keeping the paint on the brush. Is what you got with a little bit closer look. Like I said, you put about an inch of paint in this can, an empty can. It's a ceiling paint, about an inch. So it's only like up to here. And then when you dip it, it only goes to about an inch up. And once you've done that, you hit it against the sides like that. So you dip it, you hit it like that, and then the paint's on there, like that's not going anywhere. And that'll get you like a good 2 feet coverage. And then you dip it again, and you get another 2 feet, and you just go around the whole room. So that's what I'll do. I'll continue cutting in, and then I'll just keep pulling this right across. And that's how you paint a ceiling. Thanks for checking this out. And, I'm gonna post another video about how you paint walls and how you can do it section by section, and a few other pro tips with that. Thanks again for checking in. This is Donigan Painting. I hope this helped you. Have a good one.